What's up, guys? Just doing some EPG testing tonight. Pretty much just wrapping that up. But what I wanted to make a video about, I've been thinking about doing this for some time now, is a book list. Now, there's a lot of people out there that have educations in this sort of stuff, or have learned through whatever, reading books, the internet, whatnot. But everyone has to start somewhere. And when people are starting out, sometimes, they don't know a whole lot about the subject. They might be really into it, really excited about it, and that's great. But it can also lead to misunderstanding, the spread of bad information, uninformed posts on forums. I'm sure we've all run into those. But this is for the serious person that actually wants to put some time and effort into learning what this stuff is all about, and how to accomplish, or at least get the best results out of your projects. I'm not claiming to know anything or much of anything, but what's really helped me are reading books. Believe it or not. Reputable sources. There's a lot of information out on the internet. There's a lot of great information out on the internet, and there's a lot of bad information out on the internet. So what I wanted to share is my book list. Some books I've read all the way through, some I'm in the middle of, and some I am just starting. I'm one of those people that can't stick with the one thing and I have about 4 or 5 books that I'm reading right now. Half of them being science books, half of them being novels. So the first thing, if you're interested in hydrogen stuff, you really got to just learn the basics about what's going on there. And this is a real cheap, great book I found on Amazon a couple years ago. Fuel from Water, Energy Independence with Hydrogen. They just talk about electrolysis and different ways of how to apply it to vehicles, and how we could have a hydrogen economy, and great background information that you really should know. It's a really good book. So I would suggest, if you're just starting, pick up something like this. Now, after that, if you're really interested in, staying stuff and not just doing simple electrolysis, hooking some wires up to some water and DC and whatnot, and you want to start building stuff using this kind of equipment over here, building, whatever circuits and whatnot. This book really helped me a lot. It's practical electronics for inventors, so it's right up most of our alleys. It's like a self-teaching guide. You don't need a teacher, which is one of the most important things for me. That's practical electronics for inventors. The beginning of the book is all the theory about electricity, and the end of the book is all about building circuits and components. It's a great book. I love it. I refer to it constantly. The next thing, chemistry. Don't even try to pretend that this stuff all doesn't have to do with chemistry. You got a water bath and you're applying electricity to it. Maybe you're putting chemicals into it, maybe you're not. It doesn't really matter. Chemistry is all about the subatomic level, and, when you're working on this stuff, that's something that I think about a lot, electron exchange and, ionizing gases and whatever. So learning your terminology, learning how things work, learning what electrons are moving where and when and why is a great thing to know. So and also concepts and problems. Oh, here, self-teaching guide. This is the best kind of book, in my opinion, to look for, because it does not require a teacher. It's not like sitting in a class. But if you have the opportunity to sit in a class, that's great. More power to you. I will be next semester, actually. Next, basic physics, man. It's all about self-teaching God again. Learn the basics. You got to know this stuff. You don't got to know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you don't. Doesn't really apply to this, but subatomic level, magnetism, great stuff. This book I just picked up, really short and really cheap. It's a high voltage electrical breakdown of water, and it's not exactly what it sounds like. It's actually, I think it was University in Texas was trying to create better water capacitors. But in here, you see all sorts of information of when water breaks down, under what conditions. You know, you got charts and all sorts of information. Got to know a little background to understand some of the terminology, but it's not too difficult. Next up, hydrogen, the hydrogen bond and the water molecule. You can buy this if you want. It has all the information that you can imagine of mainstream science anyway on the water molecule and hydrogen bonding. It's very difficult to read. You definitely got to do your homework and have some background information before you dive into something like this. You can also find a free version on the internet. When I bought this, I was looking, I don't know, a few months or weeks later, I was looking through my computer about some stuff I had saved years ago, and it was a copy of this book. Don't know where I found it, but if you look it up, you'll probably be able to find it. Theories of magnetism. We're always making inductors and all sorts of crap like that. I haven't dug into this book. I'm not saying you should get this one, but you should get, once you get to that level, a hardcore book about just the theory of magnetism. It's a great way to go. The last book that I'd recommend is this one. Wouldn't you just love to dive into this and read hours and hours on end? Absolutely not. This book is a reference book. This is not a book you'd want to go and read. It's not for that, and it would be worthless to do. This is a reference book. Inside this book, you have all sorts of information, stuff that we're curious about and Googling all the time and finding crappy answers for. You can find in here, man. You got every isotope. You got whatever wavelength is absorbed by whatever atoms or molecules or whatever. All sorts of information. And sometimes when you're trying to design something that's pretty tricky, it really comes in handy. So that's the end of my book list, at least to work on this stuff. But I just wanted to stress the importance of reading books and how sometimes the information you find on the internet, you really got to sort through. And if you get a lot of good background information from these books or whatever, you'll be able to sort through that stuff. You'll know what you're reading on forums. You'll know what people are a little bit more credible by the way they talk and what they're talking about. And have fun and start building your own stuff. And you'll be safe when you're doing it.